Greetings, fellow commanders, friends, and family. Welcome to the fourth and final episode of the Nebula exploration mission, Orion Spur. My name is Commander Parabolus, and I am currently embarked on a relatively short exploration mission to map, document, and transmit detailed observation of 10 key local nebula in the Orion Spur. When the last video log ended, I had just left NGC 7822 Nebula after scanning 19 of its 23 black holes. I am currently over 3,500 light years from home, en route to the furthest destination in my exploration mission, Bubble Nebula. Commander's Log, April 5th, 7:58 p.m. It has been almost 24 hours since I left the NGC 7822 Nebula. While I have seen many unique planets along the way, to this point, not much has happened beyond routine scans and a few quick nights of rest on a moon. Until now. I have just received an alert transmission from a friend, Commander D347H, back in the main systems. Apparently, someone has uncovered massive new details about the things called barnacles and the unique artifacts. This is major news, and may be the first of many discoveries about alien life in the galaxy. It might be proof that we are not alone. About 3 months ago, a commander discovered an unknown artifact somewhere in the galaxy. Sometimes these unknown artifacts can cause havoc on ships' computers and emit some funny sounds in a sort of rhythmic pattern. I have never carried any of these unknown artifacts on my ships, but have heard audio recordings of them at some local starports while talking with my friends. Since then, there has been a rapid amount of discoveries in an organic life form called barnacles, which were rare and found on the surfaces of some planets and moons. If destroyed, these barnacles release what is known as a metal alloy, known to possess some organic regenerative properties, including repairing malfunctioning systems of Commander's ships. Now, that being said, the message I received from my friend indicated this. A commander recently has made a huge discovery regarding the alien artifacts. He recorded the sounds emitted from them in his ship and played back the sound at an increased speed of 200%. He then translated the high and low pitches into Morse code. It revealed the following: a cutoff message. A warning area entered. That is as much as they have uncovered so far, and a team of commanders have been working hard at trying to find out more. As you can imagine, there is mass speculation. What does a warning area enter even mean? Some are saying that Maya, a system on the outskirts of space where research into the artifacts and metal alloys has been undertaken, may be going supernova, which would indicate immediate evacuation of Obsidian Orbital. Regardless, the mystery is increasing, and either this is all a massive hoax or contact from an alien race. My guess is that it is a communication from a more advanced species, and we have known for a while that the Federation has been drastically increasing their military might, building new superships almost weekly. This makes me glad, I guess, to be away from civilization, but also makes me want to make a beeline back home in case some catastrophic event. I will keep you updated. Meanwhile, this system that I'm in deserves some description. There are 4 gas giants that have water-based life on them, and note that curiously, 3 of these are tidally locked with the star. At the end of this system, I found a metal-rich content planet with rings, amazing black, gray, and white rings. As this system is a prime example of, each system in the galaxy has something unique. And I am realizing now that with every jump that I take, I am the farthest away from civilization and my home than I have ever been before. And yet, paradoxically, it is still abundant with life. Which, of course, gets me thinking, as everyone does once they enter the black. As big as the galaxy is, as vast and diverse that it is, why is it that we still have yet to observe other forms of intelligent life, especially as life is so abundant everywhere? Regardless, either I'm starting to lose it, or more likely, I'm starting to enter the mind of the explorer. Commander's Log, April 5th, 10:39 p.m. I found my first Earth-like world. Over 4,300 light years from HIP 95256, where I started this journey over 9 days ago. It is 4,300 kilometers in radius and has a temperature of 26.5 degrees Celsius. It is made of 71.3% nitrogen and 28.7% oxygen atmosphere. Its star is 12 billion years old, which has allowed the planet time to age and evolve into having suitable life. My scanners indeed picked up water-based indigenous life signals, so I flew in for a closer look. As I brought my Python into orbit, I was mesmerized by one of the most beautiful sunrises I have ever seen. In spite of an insatiable desire to land on the planet to take some more accurate measurements, I have reluctantly decided to follow the Prime Directive. I will not land on this planet as to not alter the natural evolution and progression of whatever life form is down there, their cultural and scientific growth as a species. As I left orbit, I also discovered a metal-rich planet suitable for terraforming. Indeed, this may be a good system for a long-distance human colony and settlement. In fact, this region has a lot of metallic planets that are terraformable, and even a few water worlds. Moreover, although I am still 2,600 light-years away from Bubble Nebula, I can now see it from my cockpit. This region of space I am in is actually really dark, with not many stars in between the galactic arms, so long-distance visibility is possible, and there are no nearby nebula to provide blocking ambient light. Commander's Log, Supplemental, April 7th, 3:29 a.m. I have found a brown dwarf system with a faraway, dark, rocky planet. This system is on the edge of the space in between the galactic arms, and is probably the best place to take a high-resolution composite image looking back into the galactic core. I landed and did just that. However, this high-res photography has come at a price, and will most likely cut my trip short. As I approached the planet, I did not take notice of its high gravity. Most planets and moons that I land on are between 0.1 and 0.8 Gs. This planet had a gravitational pull equivalent to over 1.5 Gs. As it is not often I land on planets with this high gravity, I was not able to compensate in time, and crashed my Python hard onto its surface. This broke through my shields and caused severe damage to my ship's hull and some key modules. While I did come equipped with 2 auto-field maintenance repair units, these can only fix minor subsystems, not my ship's power plant or its hull. Not only will I need to be more careful during the remainder of my journey and avoid unnecessary planetary landings, I may also need to abandon a few of the last scheduled nebula entirely. I need to avoid any more damage, or my hull could be breached, which, out here in the depths of space, means only one certainty: death. The severity of this situation cannot be understated. Commander's Log, April 7th, 9:08 p.m. While en route to the Bubble Nebula, I stumbled across 2 normal-looking systems that I wanted to record here. The first had 4 ringed gas giants. One of these planets had ammonia-based life below its deep cloud cover. This ringed gas giant also had several moons, one of which had a rocky, icy surface ripped apart by dark and deep chasms of iron-rich red and orange. The system also had two of its ringed planets orbiting very close to one another. One of these, pictured here, had a vibrant and colorful ring system unlike I had ever seen before. The deep blue of the planet's surface contrasted with the vibrant white of its outer rings. The second system had my first neutron star. There were 3 planets in this system, all high metal content worlds that seemed to have had their atmospheres blown off by the supernova explosion. It is likely that these planets are not volcanic, but rather still are retaining some of the heat from their violent death. I will perform a detailed surface scan on each of them to be sure. It is worthy of note that my Supercruise frameshift drive automatically aborted when I got too close to the neutron star. It would be possible, however, to use normal propulsion, impulse power, to get a closer view of the tiny star, only a few kilometers across. This journey, however, would take over 2 days full throttle, and I am concerned about heat gain, as the surface temp of the star is over 16 million degrees Fahrenheit. I will definitely not risk it right now, with a hull already at 62%. Not to mention I have someone else's life in my hands and my cargo hold. I am morally responsible, if nothing else, to return him or her safely to habitable space and out of cryogenic sleep. More detailed observation of this neutron star will have to wait. Commander's Log, Supplemental, April 8th, 12:06 a.m. Alas, I am here at the Bubble Nebula. What a rich and colorful sight, unique in our galaxy. It is the farthest distance I will travel away from home, around 7,100 light years, which means that the light that I can see emitting from Sol is the same light that the earliest civilized humans saw around 3822 BC. When the ancient Sumerians and Babylonians were thriving and looked to the sky, worshipped the sun, and built monuments to its sacred powers, they were worshipping the same beam of light that I see from here. While they were discovering the alphabet and law, this same very light was shining down upon them. In the almost 2 weeks it has taken me to get to this destination, it has taken the entire course of humanity to achieve the ability for me to do so. In a certain kind of way, I have traveled back in time to this very moment. I can walk the ground of the earth with the ancient ancestors while being able to travel the stars. I am both there and here at the same time. bathed in the same light from the sun. If everyone could see what I am seeing right now and feel as I feel, then we might rejoice in the celebration of humanity. Commander's Log, April 10th, 2:16 p.m. On my way home, I have found many notable systems. It is hard for me to not spend more time exploring them in more detail. In fact, I found another Earth-like world. This one had much more water with little landmass in the form of archipelagos. There were 3 visible hurricanes on its surface. Other systems had metal-rich planets, unique stars, a pair of liquid molten planets, and even a ringed moon. None of these sites, however, compares with this system. By far, my favorite system I have visited along this journey. The first and second planets were high-gravity ringed planets. The first planet appeared to have some sort of yellow-green liquid flowing on its surface, likely caused by its volcanism of iron magma. I went in for a land and a closer inspection in spite of my weak hull. This is a sight that can't be missed. The second ringed planet was slightly larger and more dense than the first and had active silicate vapor geysers. This planet also had 2 very small potato moons, which are called that because they lack the self-gravity to pull the body into a sphere. One moon was 426 kilometers in radius, and the second, 459. This system also had 3 Class Y brown dwarf stars with rings, each 1.1 billion years old and with their own moon. All 3 of these brown dwarfs had immense ring systems, over 500,000 kilometers wide. There was also a blue Class 3 gas giant orbiting very close to the third brown dwarf, and another gas giant with water-based life orbiting 115 light seconds from the old star. Also uncommon were 2 high metal content worlds located beyond the gas giants and secondary stars. But not only that, they were actually in binary, rotating around one another every 2 days. These planets were very dark because of their distance of around 5,000 light seconds from the primary star. Each of them had an atmosphere, so I entered orbit to take a closer look. The first of these had a nitrogen atmosphere 8 times the pressure of Earth. It had active silicate geysers and was composed of 66% rock and 34% metal. The second of the pair was slightly smaller and had a methane-rich atmosphere with ammonia, methane, and nitrogen. The surface temperature on this planet was much higher, around 653 degrees Fahrenheit as compared to its brother planet, which was a comfortable 71 degrees. Its atmospheric composition of more volatile gases and surface pressure account for this drastic difference in temperature. This system also had a second group of bodies orbiting a Class K star, 350,000 light seconds from the primary star. It had 4 gas planets, 3 of which had their own ring systems and moons. The first planet I scan has ammonia-based life. This lovely little planet is primarily a hydrogen and helium-based atmospheric gas giant, but a little below the surface cloud layers, life exists based in an ammonia cloud layer. The chemistry of this gaseous region is far from equilibrium, with a surprising excess of oxygen and many carbon-based compounds giving it some vivid colors. As with many such gaseous living systems, it is underpinned by vast quantities of free-floating radioplankton, tiny carbon-based algae, each retaining a small quantity of liquid ammonia, extracting their energy from this intense radiation flux. Even present, in this one stellar system, there are two different forms of life, one water-based, one ammonia-based. This Jovian Class 1 gas giant, with a strong axial inclination, is much like our Jupiter in color and texture, and even exhibits storms scattered across its surface. The second planet I visit out here has 3 moons, and while they are not near each other because they are not binary, each of these moons orbit very closely to the ring system of its parent planet, a rare sight indeed. Again, even the most common planets are rich in their detail, making them all unique in one way or another. The final of these 4 planets is a Class 2 gas giant with 6 moons. Planets in Class 2 are too warm to form ammonia clouds. Instead, their clouds are made up of water vapor. Even though the clouds on such a planet would be similar to those of Earth, the atmosphere would still mainly consist of hydrogen and hydrogen-rich molecules such as methane. While I performed a detailed surface scan of each of these moons, 2 caught my eyes immediately. They are 2 mountainous and rocky binary planets, one white and one brown, that are so close to one another that another moon of the same size could not even fit between them. But my ship could, so I went in. I landed on the dark side surface of one of the moons for one final look back at the system that took my breath away. After a few hours exploring the moon's surface, I sadly decided to board my ship and leave this system altogether. Commander's Log, April 10, 7:30 p.m. System, Vale West Sector DL-Y D69. I have visited the Vale West Nebula, and while I am anxious to get home, only 1,500 light-years now from civilized space and a starport, the views are captivating. The sharp contrast between blue and red filled the sky. while I want to stay in this nebula and explore it in more detail, I can literally see civilized space from here. The sight makes me want to head straight home. I miss my bed. Commander's Log, April 10th, 8:40 p.m. I have now just docked at Ferguson Orbital and repaired my ship. A great day indeed. Total trip, 942 hyperspace jumps, 913 total systems visited, 7,112 light years maximum distance from my departure system, and a total distance traveled in this trip of 20,872 light years. I dropped off our lost pilot at the terminal, where they will begin the long process of the thaw. Now it is off to various systems to sell my exploration data. Hopefully, these new discoveries will prove to be something beneficial to the human race. Until next time, Commander Parabolus and my trusty Python, Ice, signing off. If you liked this video or enjoyed its contents, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. Or better yet, just recommend and share it to someone you might think would also enjoy it. There are many commanders out there looking for exploration information. Until next time, this is Commander Parabolus signing off.